Shawn Ruest, 53 Lancaster Road.
Part of my life organization, exposure and failed public speaking, and like the president, I don't have room in my budget for a teleprompter. My share of the debt as a taxpayer in the state of Connecticut is $194,000. I'm here tonight because I'm adamant about opposition to the downtown development. This was a plan that was hatched, in my opinion, in 2007 by the regional planning agency here. There's been members of the city government, town council, mayors, ex-mayors who served on the board. The purpose of the downtown wall being knocked down is for public housing, in my opinion. Okay, I have documentation from the state of Connecticut. I have documentation from the federal government here with me. I'm going to hand it out to some of you here. Basically, we're looking at a transit hub over here for the region. All right, if we adopt a plan taken on by the regional government, we're not working in the best interest of the taxpayers of Bristol. I don't want a condensed population in the downtown. There's studies that have led to me to believe that this would be increasing crime. It'll burden our schools. Although the regional government may compensate us monetarily for what it will cost us, there's going to be a lot of different impacts that's going to have on the taxpayer. In Connecticut, homeowners are in the top 5 of all the states in the whole country for foreclosures. We're at a rate of 3.9% inventory in foreclosure properties. When you build smart growth in a community, what you do is you burden homeowners with the tax base. You can't let developers build on a municipal property tax-free for 10 years and think that there's not going to be a negative consequence to that. Also, the advocates of this will say that it's for economic development. We even have a state agency that says transit-oriented development is for economic development. Just happens to coincide exactly what the regional government says, happens to coincide with some international governments' agendas. But what we have here is relocation of poor people to the downtown. Now, I have a couple documents that I want to read from Bristol, from Housing and Urban Development. $1.53 billion in new transit development over 10 years was promised. Okay, this is almost as aggressive as the ghost cities that they're building in China, except the relocation isn't done under the barrel of a gun. It's done under financial hardship of people that cannot afford to keep their homes in the state. They promise that if you accept a grant from HUD for sustainable community regional planning grant, not just development planning, they say that, oh yeah, I need to talk about it right now. It shall be directed to the greatest extent feasible to low and very low income persons pursuant to Section 3 of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968 and HUD's implementing regulations at 24 CFR Part 135. We also have Secretary of HUD, Shawn Ruest, who made a speech, and I had the date, but I evidently deleted it off here, but it was this year. He says he's pushed for HUD to be more engaged and proactive, and they are not satisfied, even though they have prosecuted more cases in the previous decade with 25% fewer staff. There are no places we won't go, no stones we won't unturn, and we are enhancing our enforcement techniques by initiating investigations on our own without waiting for individuals to file complaints. Now, it's funny, the regional planning agency just happens to be the go-to for fair housing complaints. So I find it kind of unique that, you know, we have a development that's, I was explained to that this was going to be like a shopping thing with apartments attached to it. But as I talk to people in town, they haven't any idea what this is actually originated from, that this has been going on in planning probably since 2005 from what I can see from documents. Crime, I have my own statistics right here. It's from the National Center of Policy Analysis. It shows that where you have urban centers with smart growth rather than sprawl, which we supposedly have an issue with that we need to address. Funny, because Bristol's population has not increased more than 1% since 2008. As a matter of fact, since 1980, it hasn't increased more than 1.2%. So my thought is, perhaps the regional government is more concerned about the sprawl of the whole region than they are of town, so they're going to bring people from other communities into this town. Now, whether or not there indeed is a sustainable community grant attached to this, I have not been able to exactly prove, but I can tell you that under a grant that was given to the Capital Regional Council of Governments, the CCRPA was a beneficiary of it. That it was a bus line at that point in time, but they don't call it that. It's a rapid transit or fast track. It's a New Britain to Hartford transit thing, but now it's going to be, from what I understand, a Waterbury to Hartford transit line. High speed light rail transit is all incorporated in this. The light rail transit would operate at a $89 million a year operating deficit. Okay? I don't think that the federal government with a $17 trillion deficit and the state with a $41 billion budget should be. Can I sign my name on the list again?
No, that's it, sir. It's 5 minutes because of the fact we have other speakers, number one.
Okay,
Plus we have an agenda. 10 to.
I see that. I see there's agenda. Thank you.